Hello and welcome back. If you are somebody who uses Google Sheets regularly, then this video is for you. Because by the end of this video, you will understand how do you automate the process which starts with Google Sheets. I'll explain step by step as to how Google Sheets can be used as trigger and what are the different steps or actions that we can perform for the example that I've considered. Let's begin. To begin, let me click on New Flow and let's rename this to Google Sheets, right? And the starter is going to be Google Sheets when a sheet changes, right? So here it includes everything, like whenever there is any update that we do in this particular sheet that we have to select, okay, this gets triggered. So let's click on spreadsheet and select a particular spreadsheet. For this particular example, let's first check this particular sheet, which is tasks. And here we have task title, task description, assigned to, assigned by, okay, status, due date, and ready to assign, right? Now, these are all the details that we have in this particular sheet. Let's assume that this is a task tracker for our team, but each team member needs to get this as Google Tasks, right? And also a reminder on their chat. How can we perform this? Let's see. So I'm going to select this particular file. Okay, so spreadsheet, I'll select search for tasks, which is basically this one. I'll click on insert. And this has only one sheet, which is sheet 2. So it has automatically got selected. Now the next step is to add the filter, find rows to watch for changes, which might be slightly confusing. Basically, it asks us what is the filter that you want to add in column such that the rows will get selected, right? For example, I could say that the assigned to is me, right? So if that is the case, then I will run this workflow, right? So let me go and tell assigned to, okay, it is not any value. We will need to select what are the values, and we have testing, Sanskrit, and all of that. So I will change to, let's say, this one to Pradesh and this one to Meghana. Okay, now if I go back here and actually click on this value, then we should have the details. Let me refresh. And if I select this, then we should have this, right? Now, as we are showing this in the support account, I am going to select support over here and I'm going to mention this as support, right? So I'll select this. This has to be one value. It cannot be multiple. You can see here. Now you can also add multiple columns if you want. That is, assigned to is this and status is this, right? You could also add multiple filters here if you need to. Now select new values to watch for, right? So this is when ready to assign is basically yes. Okay. Now what does this mean? This is a filter and this is when the workflow will start running. I'll show you with an example when I fill this particular sheet, right? So basically we have told assigned to should be my name or support. Okay. And then the ready to assign should be yes, because when I add the title, when I add the description and the name, it will immediately get triggered. Okay. And when we say ready to assign is yes, that means the task is ready and it can actually be assigned. We can actually send them the notification. Okay. You can have different ways of doing this. I have just made it this way because if I don't add this particular thing, okay, this particular column details here, then what will happen is as soon as I add the title, okay, it will get triggered. As soon as I add the description, it will get triggered again. As soon as I assign the task to a particular user, this will get triggered again. Okay. So this particular column filter will help us to get triggered only for this user. And this particular value will help us to trigger this only when ready to assign column has a value of yes. Okay. I'll show you exactly this in a short while. Now, once this is done, what we can do is we can actually go and summarize, okay, about the task and then send it to the user, right? So We'll first create a task and then summarize. Create a task. So the title is going to be step 1. So title should be available here, task title. And this is going to be step 1, task description. Date, we can put 1 day after the run starts. Okay, if you leave it as no date, there'll not be any due date. Okay, so this is step 1. Let me quickly check if this is working and then we'll move on to the next one. So I've made it as, I've just turned it on. So we'll go to tasks. I'll clear off all the tasks that I have got as of now. Okay, so there is no tasks. I'll go here and maybe I'll say testing as my title, and I am just testing this out. Okay, and I'll put this as support. Now, if we go back and check for activity, there is no activity. Even though I've filled all these details and support is also added, there is no activity because this is not yet set to yes. Okay, so it's ideally good if you can keep the last column, okay, as your trigger point, which means once you set this particular column, everything is set and it can actually get triggered. So if I refresh this now, you can see here this is completed. So let me go to tasks and you can see testing. I'm just testing this out. So task actually got created and the due date is tomorrow. Let me mark this as complete and let's move on to the next step. Now the next step could be summarizing, or we can also ask Gemini. Okay, let's go with Gemini. And here we will mention that based on the task title and description, summarize the task in a way which we can send to the user via Google Chat. Okay, and then I'll say title is, I can go here as well, title, and then description is going to be from here, task details, right? And sources Gemini can use web, workspace and connected apps, or web only. Maybe we'll leave it as is, right? And then I'll just go to the next step, and here it will be notify me in chat. And the output here is going to be just content created by Gemini, right? Click on save changes, and I'll come here and maybe take this, add it over here. I'll just change this one from Sanskrit to support. And finally, if we go back here and check for activity, it will be just one which ran last time. And now if I go here and make this as yes, okay, that's when this will get triggered again. So you can see this is working and I should have the task created real quick. There you go. Set up weekly task assignment automation for the design team. Okay, that's exactly what I added over here. And you can see the design team currently receives task assignments through a mix of emails, chat messages, and informal conversations. So all of that is actually added over here. Due date is tomorrow, right? Now, because I am creating it myself, okay, I want this automation to be shared across all the team members. So what I can do is I can actually click on share. Okay, it is private right now. I'll say read 7 and then I'll copy this particular link. I'll go to another account. So I'm on the other account now. I've put the link. Let me open it up and it says copy this flow, right? I'll click on copy flow and I'll just change the filter that we need. So copy creator, it says, I can actually rename this to my tasks, right? And then I can go to Google Sheets, when a sheet, and assign it to, I'll say Ritesh. Okay, I'll select this particular option. Okay, and ready to assign is yes, all of that is great. And all of this will just be fine. Now this is in my account. Let me go back to the Google Sheets and assign myself a task. Project management, app registration. Okay, and let's say I would say create an account on Zoho projects and invite all team members. Okay, and here I'm going to assign it to myself, and this wouldn't have run. Okay, it's not run, we can see it, and it'll run only when I mark this as yes. Now this will run immediately, you can see here. And if I go to tasks, so you can see here, project management app registration, create an account on Zoho projects and invite all team members. So that's how this is. Now I can share this particular flow with all my team members, tell them, put your filter and activate this. So you'll be notified whenever a new task is assigned to you. Okay, not just this, I can actually go to the chat and show you, I've got a chat. So you can see here, my tasks, it says project management app registration, action needed, create an account on Zoho projects and invite all team members, sent by Workflow Workspace Studio, right? Not just here, I could also check it over here. You can see here, this is the one, task, set up weekly task assignment automation for the design team. Goal is this one, what needs to be done? Design and set up a structured workflow, ensure every task is clearly defined, automate notification, document the new workflow, expected outcome. Okay, so Gemini has actually detailed the entire task and sent it on chat. Now, for a team who is relying on Google Sheets a lot, this can be a game changer because it sends the notification to the right user based on what you have mentioned in the Google Sheets. Don't you think so? If you agree with me that this is going to be helpful, please share it across with all of them you know are using Google Sheets regularly. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.